Allison, and I am for the strict enforcement of not allowing primary care doctors to diagnose children and adolescents with mental health diagnosis such as bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, even ADD, really. My main purpose of this debate is to educate and help create new ideas for therapy, cognitive therapy, anything than allowing a primary care doctor to diagnose your child with, say for instance, bipolar disorder. This topic is very near and dear to my heart. It happened to me when I was 15. My mom took me to my primary care doctor to get screening for depression, I believe. My parents were going through a divorce, very common for a 15-year-old girl, especially puberty, mind you, and angst. So my doctor proceeded to give me a 10-question survey. It's all crinkly. I'll pass it around the room later. But it has very simple questions. Feeling tired or having little energy, and it gives you like 4 choices, like not at all, sometimes, twice a day, more than once a week, like simple questions that a 15-year-old can't answer. But so simple that she would take this. She literally left the room for 3 minutes and came back, my primary care doctor, and then told me and my mother that I had bipolar disorder and that I immediately needed to start taking medication. And this is very common. They like to push medication. Like, that's their thing. In 2015, only Prozac was deemed safe by the FDA. That is the only antidepressant deemed safe for young children and adolescents. Like, that was the only one. And this happened to me in 2010. So, she had given me Klonopin, which is Seroquel, is 400 milligrams. That's the highest dosage you can give any person. Like, that's as high as it goes for Seroquel, Klonopin. And I weighed like 115 pounds, like 120. And then, that was antipsychotic. And then she gave me an antidepressant, which are the SSRIs, which is the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. That's a common one, Lexapro. 25 milligrams. That's pretty high for Lexapro. And Lexapro nowadays has a black label that says if taken by, young children and adolescents, it will cause suicidal tendencies, and that's exactly what happened to me when I started taking medication. Like, I changed abruptly. Like, I was already in a bad mood, but then I became actually erratic. I became crazy after taking this medication. I took this medication for about 5 years. From age 15 to like 20, I took both. And she went up on my medication a lot, like just up and down. And she never once gave me a referral after the screen. I only had one screening with this test. 10 questions. And I was a guinea pig for 5 years. Like, I gained water weight. I dropped water weight at least 30 pounds, like off and on. And this is in my teenage years. And I think it's just so wrong, because she never referred anyone. And a lot of primary care doctors don't refer, second referral. As for instance, in 2014 studies found that 40% of children receiving antipsychotic drugs were not given a mental health assessment that met the standards of the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. And that's by Issues and Controversies, 2015. Like, that is just absolutely unbelievable to me, and so wrong. I know a lot of people believe that primary care doctors, they went to medical school, that they know what's up, but they don't do the mental part. And a lot of the mental diagnosis puts emphasis on the problem being in the child and is actually less likely to take into account and other outside factors, like my situation. Like, I was depressed, but she didn't expand further like a psychiatrist would, like your outside factors, and a lot of people don't. They know something's wrong with their child, the doctor gave them an answer, done, pack it away, and let's keep going. We're instant gratification country. Like, we want instant answers. And she'd given my mom one that day, and I think it's so wrong that she didn't give us any referrals, but that's another story. And then the second opposing view, having a name or an issue put on something will help explain it to others, which is true. But I'll also take, for example, if you have an this is from The Dark Side Revealed, 2018. Yeah, 2018. That if you take an anxious child and the parents are scared that they don't want to freak out their child who has anxiety, so they never experience life. Like, they keep ends up keeping their child sheltered than not. So a lot of people get lost in the model of the diagnosis that did not come from a proper source. So in conclusion, I implore a stricter assessment and that you agree that every doctor needs to have not a 10 question survey, but an assessment that is deemed worthy by the American Psychiatry of Children Adolescent Psychiatry, the American Association of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, because it's so important that another child doesn't get misdiagnosed, because it's very sad.